Well, in a nutshell, Drake's defamation lawsuit against UMG has been dismissed. And I'm not a lawyer, but y'all know I read all 38 of them pages, so here's a recap. Let's start with the judge's opening words for the order, which says, quote, "This case arises from perhaps the most infamous rap battle in the genre's history, the vitriolic war of words that erupted between superstar recording artist Drake and Kendrick Lamar in the spring of 2024. Over the course of 16 days, the two artists released 8 so-called diss tracks with increasingly heated rhetoric, loaded accusations, and violent imagery. The penultimate song of this feud, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, dealt the metaphoric killing blow. The song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of liking children, set to a catchy beat and propulsive bass line. Not Like Us went on to become a cultural sensation, achieving immense commercial success and critical acclaim." Now, Judge, are you a fan? Now, as a reminder, Drake was suing UMG for defamation, harassment, and violation of the New York business law. One of his main points in this lawsuit was that UMG defamed him when they published, promoted, exploited, and made money off of Kendrick's song, knowing that what Kendrick said in that song was false and dangerous. Particularly the A minor line, him being Malibu's most wanted, and then the song's cover art, which was of Drake's house with offender icons all over it. So first up are the lyrics and the overall message of Not Like Us, which was that Drake is a person who engages with young children. And the question the judge has to answer is, were those lyrics meant as an opinion and therefore they fall under free speech, or are they meant to be taken as fact and therefore defamatory? And according to the judge, context matters here. The judge says, although the accusation that Drake likes young kids is certainly serious, the broader context of this being a heated rap battle with incendiary language and offensive accusations hurled by both participants would not incline the reasonable listener to believe that Not Like Us imparts verifiable facts about Drake. That doesn't stand. Moving on to the album cover art, the judge says that this too is just an opinion, and no reasonable person would view the image and believe that law enforcement had in fact designated 13 residents in Drake's home as offenders. And so that also is dismissed. Up next is the harassment claim. And for this one, the judge basically says that New York does not have a civil cause of action for harassment, meaning harassment is not something you can sue for in New York. It seems that in New York, harassment is a criminal matter, meaning it's something you report to the police, not something you sue over. And even in the exceptions where you are allowed to sue for it, the judge says Drake's case doesn't meet those requirements. And you can even see here, the judge notes that courts routinely dismiss civil harassment claims as not cognizable under New York law. So lyrics, imagery, and now harassment dismissed. The last claim for the lawsuit was the violation of New York business law, and this had to do with UMG allegedly using their resources to make Not Like Us more popular than it was. Drake's team claimed that UMG used bots, they paid influencers and radio DJs to play the song, and they claimed that UMG got Spotify to redirect searches for Drake's music to Kendrick's song. And to this, the judge says, even if all of that is true, how did it harm consumers, aka the audience, which is a requirement for this New York business law? According to the judge, in the complaint, Drake and his team never claimed that consumers were harmed because they had to pay more money for something, or that they bought something they wouldn't have otherwise purchased because of a misrepresentation, or that consumers received less value for something that they did purchase. At most, according to the judge, UMG engaged in practices to make Not Like Us seem more popular than it actually was without connecting that activity to any consumer harm. And therefore, this claim must also be dismissed. And so the entire lawsuit has been dismissed. Y'all think Kendrick on the way to the studio right now?